Hello guys, I am here at Adepticon 2016 with Craig Caton of Games and Gears. Hey, good to see you, Craig. We are looking at Dark Deeds today. This is a brand new card game that has been released, and we're gonna dive in and see what it's all about. So Craig, take it away.
Well, the first thing to say is you're representing an apprentice thief in a city, and the Overlord has had a little bit of a problem lately and lost some of his upper level minions. He's looking to promote within. You have to do things to ingratiate yourself to the boss. And a promotion is always a good thing.
Thiefy type things, is that right?
Exactly.
Right.
Oh, exactly. It's not the nicest thing. Now, I have two different sets of cards. The first is the street deck, and the second is the tavern deck. The street deck comes with three types of cards. The white one here, which says cleric, is actually a merchant. The general term is referred to that because it's somebody you can rob.
That's fair.
The full game has blue, green, and white. So in this case with the demo, we're only using the white ones to make it a little simpler.
Very cool. So anybody you can rob is white border.
Exactly. The second kind are the dark borders, which are guards.
Okay.
Now, a guard is somebody I can attack. Basically take that little leather pouch you've got with a lead shot in it and put him upside the head.
Yep.
And take him out of action for the night.
Okay.
And you can get victory points for it. Or if you use the lower number, that's an 8 on a D12 to take him out of action. It's a 4 on a D12 to sneak past him and kind of not look suspicious so he ignores you.
All right.
Because when I come on the street, I have to start up here and move my way down. This is the way the game starts. I got 3 cards which will never show up in the game, which move off to the end. I have to sneak past this guard to rob the merchant.
Yeah.
The third type with this kind of purplish magenta border is a nemesis. These are personalities in the city. They may be politicians, they may be powerful people, but any sort of power, you have to live and die off information.
Right.
And they're out in the street at night and during the day to try to figure out what's going on. Because you, as a young and up-and-coming member of a questionable organization, somebody else having information about you isn't the best thing to have happen.
Of course.
So we'll see this later on how it works. But this one happens to be the alewife, and she gives you 5 victory points at the end of the game if you've actually kidnapped her.
Yeah, because obviously the main thief is going to be very appreciative of that kind of action.
But there's other things that we'll see in here. Now, the next thing is I have my tavern deck, and there are 3 types of cards. Let me pull out a third one. The first one is an item card.
Very cool.
Now this is in my hand. Oops, I'll set it down for you.
Yeah.
When I have it in my hand, I do not have an item. Basically, I'm in the tavern, I'm talking to people, and I hear a rumor that there might be a priest or a monk running around where I could steal this nice little item from him. Because if I have it, I get a +2 strength.
That's pretty
so
solid.
Attacking the guards or attacking the nemesis is +2. That's big.
Yeah.
So I do not own the item, but I might be able to get it. So the second kind is a plot card. I'll put this one down. Plot cards are kind of action cards, and they're all different. It's different things to have happen. This one says, I choose another player, and I take 3 suspicions on me. In other words, as I do things, my suspicion increases. And the highest suspicion gets a coin. Most suspicious character. And if you're the most suspicious character and a guard gets to the end of the street, he starts following you. Okay? If a guard is following you, you can't do anything until you sneak past him. So I can't even get onto the street without...
Wow, very cool.
You might have to bother him. And of course with this one, if I take 3 suspicion off me and give it to you, you might be the most suspicious person.
Well, wouldn't that just be unfortunate, yeah?
And we'll see it later. If your suspicion gets too high and you have a guard following you, you can get arrested.
All right, and then you're out of the game?
No. No, if you have 10 suspicion and a guard following you at the end of your turn, you get arrested. But okay, I get arrested, I might get beat up a little bit, but I lose all my suspicion because I was arrested. They're not worried about me anymore. The guard goes away because he did his job. He can go to the pub now.
Yeah.
And my boss has already bribed the jailer, so I just go out the back door and go back to work.
Nice.
So
nice.
But you get rid of all your suspicion.
Okay.
But if I have this out, I lose it.
Right.
Now the last type of card is called a dark deed. A dark deed is kind of a mission, and you have to be careful with these. Now this one says, Pardon me, I got to read it. I can't read upside
Score
down.
when you successfully attack a guard.
Okay,
Seems
so
easy.
if there's a guard here, or I have a guard following me, if I attack them and knock them unconscious, I get an extra 5 victory points at the end of the
Nice.
game. So if I attack this guy at an 8 and I get lucky, I get 3 points for the guard, I get 3 suspicion, and I can play this out of my hand. That's 8 victory points. That's big.
Nice.
But there's a problem. If I have this in my hand at the end of the game, it's a minus 5 points because I didn't succeed in my mission.
There it is.
So there's a double-ended sword, like the Nemesis. If I have a Nemesis following me, I lose 5 points at the end of the game.
Right.
If I attack them and kidnap them, because I don't want them following me around. They get information, they know what I'm doing. I don't want anybody in my business.
So how many players generally are gathering to play this game?
Anywhere from 2 to 5.
2 to 5 players,
Now-
and everybody's looking out for themselves?
Everybody's looking after themselves
Right.
because why should you help somebody else? They're competition.
Always a good question.
Now, the thing to realize, the game ends when you run out of cards.
Okay.
And I mean, when the last one flips over, it still has to move up the street. So a 5-player game actually doesn't take any longer than a 2-player game. In fact, it's probably shorter
Wow.
because of this.
Yeah.
But you don't build up as many items and you don't build up as much victory points. But it's a lot more like, you did this to me, I'm gonna,
Yeah.
who's your buddy, who's your pal?
Who's your buddy? Who's your pal?
But basically, on my turn, I have these 3 cards.
So everybody has a hand of about 3
You
cards.
start with 3.
Okay.
You can get up to 6. If you get over 6, you discard.
Okay.
I have yet to see anybody discard because you're using these things all the
Yeah.
time. So I'm gonna, these are just placeholders. I get to the guard. I'm trying to sneak past them. I need a 4.
You missed.
Okay. I'm the first player. We both have 0 suspicion, so I'm the most suspicious person. I failed. The only other thing I could do is if you fail this, it's called lay low. I have to duck, kind of do something else to get out of trouble. When you lay low, you can throw away an item card, and that would lower your suspicion by the number on it. I'd lower it by 4.
Okay.
So you can manipulate it that way. But I don't have any suspicion, so I'm not going to lose that. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I forgot I should take a card. And one thing about these cards, everybody knows about these. You know what's there, I know what's there. If I take this, you know I got an did it. But if I draw the top card, I
Right.
keep it hidden.
So you can either take one of these or draw a random one.
And if I draw a random one, these 2 get shuffled back in.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, one of my favorite mechanics. I do
So-
love that.
Because that way you've got a little secret. But
Yeah.
it happens to be the pontiff's hat. Better known as the Pope's hat.
Gorgeous.
But anyways,
All right, so you try to
So-
sneak past the guard.
Right,
And
I
then you gotta
failed.
lay low.
this, everything moves up. So your turn isn't the same as mine. And I turn this over, and there's another merchant. So
So now I can move up the street and I
well,
try to.
the first thing you do is you pick a card or draw the top.
Let's just take these monk's robes. What do you
Sure. And we refill it with another one.
think? Beautiful. All right, and so now I can move up this street.
Exactly. And you've still got the guard here.
I'm
So
gonna try to sneak past the guard.
okay. Let's hope you have better luck than I did. You
All
got a
right.
6.
I did
so
it.
you can move on to here. And you don't have to worry about the rest of these. The Nemesis doesn't bother you. You can try to rob this and get the monk's robes. A 1, that's not bad. You could attack the Nemesis and get 5 victory points if you roll 5 or higher.
Very good.
And you could, there's the easy one to rob.
Let's do the easy one.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna rob the cleric. Is that
So-
right? So I need what? A 1?
Roll a d12. Okay, you got a 4. Now, here's the thing. If I want to steal the robes, I need the 1 to rob him, and I need 2 more to get the robes. So you got a 4. It's greater than 3. Now you have this item in play.
All right, monk's robes are now in play.
So cunning means anytime you're trying to sneak past a guard, you have +1 to the die roll.
Beautiful.
Now, if there was a merchant that was blue or green, you'd also be able to use that on them. Because doesn't that say it doesn't work on a cleric?
Yes.
So those robes don't work trying to rob him.
Fair enough.
But the other ones will
mechanic
work.
is there, right? So we
Exactly.
understand the mechanic. And
So-
so that was one option. What was my other option here? What could I do to the
If you attack her and you roll a 5 or higher, then you get her for victory points.
Okay, so I could go. I could get an item. I could get victory points.
Right.
Or another item.
Now I put it face down. You get 1 suspicion, and now you're the most suspicious person.
Beautiful peripherals also.
This moves over, everything goes down the street, and we fill in the 2 spots. So every turn, there's going to be 1 or 2 new cards on the table.
Great.
So it's a constantly changing stream.
All right, I get it. And so the
down.
merchants are the way that you can play the cards and the items out of your hand.
Exactly.
This is straight up victory points.
And
then the guards are a problem.
Sawed Off is a very good card to have, because if I try to do something to you,
Yep.
you can.
Yep, not going to happen.
That's kind of, yeah, exactly.
Very,
but
very cool.
we wouldn't know it. So I'll try to play it that way.
And at the end of the game, whoever has the most victory points wins the thing.
Exactly.
Very
exactly.
cool. All right,
so
this looks really, really fun.
It is. I played 5-player games, and
What's your favorite thing? I understand that you've played a lot of games in your life. What's your favorite thing about Dark Deeds?
the replayability.
Yep.
I mean, 3, 4. I mean, the more people, the better, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Very cool, man. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate the demo. This is Dark Deeds by Games and Gears, a fantastic looking little game. Looks very easy to get into, quick, and a lot of fun. So check it out. We got more coming from Adepticon 2016.